I'm Gary from Life of Gaz, and today we're going to be looking at how to make planted wood for your aquarium. Okay, well YouTube users, we're going to see just how I make planted wood for my fish tanks. If like me, you're a bit fussy, you want wood to look a particular way, you want multiple plants planted on it, then going to the pet shops and buying it isn't always the way forward. Now all I do is I collect branches like these ones just here. Taking the bark off of them can be an absolute pain, but luckily I know someone who's got a big aviary full of lovebirds and they do a fantastic job for me. Now all we're going to do with this to start with is the first stage. We've dried the wood out. It's been in the lovebird aviary for about 3 weeks, so it's been taken out for another couple. I've left it in a warm room drying out. Now it's going to be placed in the fish tank, which of course is going to float. I don't want it to float, I want it to take on the water and to actually have a neutral or a negative buoyancy, so it will actually sink to the bottom. Now to do this I'm going to just weight it down, and that is where Mr. Rock comes into play. So I'm just going to place these in the tank for us now, and then we're going to leave them, do a water change every day, every other day, until the water stays clear, and then I'm ready to start planting these pieces of wood up. Now the wood is fully submerged, every part of it is underwater. I've got it covered with the rock which holds the wood down. The smaller piece sat on top is about as buoyant as a piece of polystyrene. Now at the moment these are just in a tank filled with water. There is nothing else in the tank. I've not added aquarium salts, I've not added a heater or any filtration in any way, shape or form. I'll be doing 100% water change every time it needs it until the wood is going to be staying submerged. So 2 weeks later with the planted wood, what we've been doing is soaking it, changing the water regularly. You can maybe able to see or pick up on the video there's a sort of hue around some of the pieces of wood. This is like an underwater fungus which is growing on it. So what we're doing is we're wiping that off every time we change the water. Now I'm going to just lift this rock up. The density of the wood obviously depends on the thickness. One piece is floating and the other piece is sunk straight to the bottom. So that piece is ready to be planted up. Once it stops growing the fungus, and we'll be planting that up and seeing that grow in one of the main tanks. So now this piece of wood is sitting on the bottom of our tank without any use of the rock, and it's also stopped producing any fuzz or fungus within it. It's now time to plant this piece up. I've now attached the Java fern and some Java moss onto this planted wood. I cut the ends off to use in another aquarium, but this is starting to look good now. I'll keep trimming the Java fern, the Java moss itself, and as I trim that, that'll bush up and start to look great over time. The Java fern, as it starts growing new little youngsters coming off the ends and leaves, like you can see just here, as they start developing root systems, I'll plant them into the centre, and that will thicken that plant up as well. Now I hope you guys have enjoyed this video on how to make aquarium wood. Please leave comments, subscribe and like these videos, as there'll be plenty more coming soon.